Hello and welcome to Fast and Factual on Firstpost. Here's a roundup of stories from across the world. Displaced Palestinians in Khan Younis are leaving the Al-Amal hospital amid an increased offensive by Israel. According to Palestinian Red Crescent Society, the hospital has come under attack by Israeli forces. A video released by the PRCS shows dozens of people carrying few belongings and leaving the area on foot. Israeli tanks have been advancing for the past 2 weeks in Khan Younis, which was housing hundreds of thousands of people who fled other areas. The United Nations Relief and Works Agency for Palestinian Refugees has accused Israeli Navy of hitting a humanitarian food convoy. The UNRWA shared pictures of the damaged truck, saying no one was injured in the attack. It claimed that it was the third time a UN convoy had been attacked while delivering supplies to the enclave. A 14-year-old Palestinian boy was shot dead by Israeli forces. The Israeli police said that the boy was being investigated during an ongoing security operation. That's when the teen allegedly brandished a knife and attempted to stab an officer. The officers then responded with fire and shot him. Nearly 4 months of fighting between Israel and the Lebanese militant group Hezbollah has upended the lives of residents on both sides of the border. Tens of thousands of people have been forced to flee their homes. Many are unclear when or if it will be safe to return. Israel and Hezbollah have been exchanging fire on the border ever since the Israel-Hamas war broke out. Iran's Supreme Leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei has called on Islamic nations to cut economic ties with Israel. Khamenei says this will deal a decisive blow to the country. He also criticized America for supporting Israel. His comments come as the US and Britain double down on their strikes against more Houthi targets in Yemen. The Pentagon has issued an update regarding its recent strikes against Iran-linked targets in Iraq and Syria. A spokesperson said that the strikes had destroyed or functionally damaged more than 80 targets at the 7 facilities. However, he added that the Pentagon was not aware of any Iranian deaths. The Buckingham Palace has said that King Charles has been diagnosed with cancer. The British monarch has started regular treatments and for now he will postpone public duties. No further details have been shared on the stage of cancer or a prognosis. The 75-year-old monarch was crowned in September 2022. That was following the death of his mother, Queen Elizabeth. Italian authorities said they'd arrested 14 people after a disorder broke out at a migrant detention center near Rome. Chaos erupted after a young man being held there died by suicide. Detainees managed to force their way out into a car park, setting fire to mattresses and throwing objects. Police fired tear gas as they struggled to regain control of the facility. 2 police officers and a soldier were injured. Mexico's President Lopez Obrador has proposed sweeping constitutional reforms. This includes measures to overhaul the judiciary, electoral law, pensions, and environmental regulations. The announcement comes months before a presidential election. The proposed constitutional reforms have been handed to the lower house of Congress for discussion. Guatemala has said that it is considering reaching out to develop formal ties with China. The Central American country is one of a handful of Taiwan's remaining allies. However, the country has said it plans to maintain its existing relations with Taiwan. More countries are now seeking ties with the world's second-largest economy. This comes amid escalating tensions between China and Taiwan. China claims Taiwan as its own territory, but Taipei rejects Beijing's claims. At least 10 police personnel were killed and 6 others were injured in Pakistan. This after militants attacked a police station in the Khyber Pakhtunkhwa region. At around dawn yesterday, militants attacked the police station with sniper fire and then entered the building. This comes as Pakistan is headed for parliamentary elections this week. However, it isn't clear who was behind the attack or whether it was poll-related violence. Protests shut down major cities in Haiti yesterday. Demonstrators clashed with police and demanded the resignation of Prime Minister Ariel Henry. This comes as citizens blame the government for failing to tackle increasing crimes in the country. They added that a wave of violence has made normal life impossible for them. Haiti is facing a worsening conflict between alliances of heavily armed gangs. This has given rise to sexual violence, lootings, and indiscriminate killings. In climate news, a devastating wildfire is damaging northern Argentina's Patagonia region. The fire has spread through centuries-old native forests in the Nahuel Huapi National Park. Firefighters are having a hard time as the area is only accessible through a lake or a 3 to 4 day long trek. A deadly Pacific storm battered Southern California with torrential rain. The heavy rainfall triggered flooding and mudslides in the region. The police responded to at least 130 flooding incidents yesterday. Authorities issued extreme weather warnings for floods, high wind and winter storms for parts of California and southwestern Arizona. Heavy snowfall combined with strong winds brought Canada's Atlantic coast to a standstill. The province of Nova Scotia received more than 100 centimeters of snow yesterday. Trains were halted and schools and businesses were shut down. The Cape Breton island also received over 100 centimeters of snow, triggering local authorities to declare a state of emergency. Tokyo is experiencing heavy snowfall. The city's fire department reported at least 105 people were rushed to the hospital after slipping and falling in the snow. Workers were deployed outside railway stations who consistently cleared the snow with shovels and brooms. However, despite extreme weather conditions, the transportation system did not experience significant disruptions. Freezing rain, snow and ice are disrupting the life of people in central and eastern China. Hundreds of trains have been cancelled, delayed or suspended. The extreme weather conditions have affected travel plans of millions of Chinese from across the globe who travel back home to celebrate the Chinese New Year with their families. Rising groundwater levels in Libya's Zitan city is causing floods. Residents were forced to evacuate their homes due to fears of erosion and structural collapse. Water company trucks are pumping out hundreds of thousands of gallons of water every day. According to a geologist, the issue is because of the city's central area lacks a sewer network. The problem aggravates when rainwater mixes with sewage water. Dense fog enveloped Pakistan's second-largest city of Lahore. Visibility drastically reduced because of the fog, causing travel chaos. According to the satellite data analyzed by Indian Meteorological Department, Lahore experienced the longest period of extensive fog since 2014. The analysis of centuries-old ocean sponges in the Caribbean indicates that global climate temperature has gone past the approved target of 1.5 degrees Celsius. Sponges are animals that filter water. This is according to a study published in a British Nature journal. Scientists say the rate of change is much faster than they thought. On to business and tech news. World Bank has rejected allegations of child sexual abuse cover-up by its private investment arm IFC. President Ajay Banga denied that there was a legal effort of cover-up by the IFC. Last year, reports of sexual abuse emerged from a Kenyan private school chain. IFC was an investor in these schools till 2022. Rights groups say the agency ignored evidence of child sexual abuse even after receiving several complaints. An investigation was launched in 2018 after the parents of the victims contacted the World Bank's office. German exports fell beyond market expectations in December last year. The government data show over 4.6% decline in exports, while analysts were expecting around 2% decrease. Weak global demand has been blamed for export slowdown. This comes as German GDP contracted by 0.3% in the last quarter, raising recession warnings. The ground staff of German carrier Lufthansa have called a one-day strike on Wednesday. The walkout will impact flights to Frankfurt, Munich, Hamburg, Berlin and Dusseldorf airports. Worker unions are demanding over 12% pay hike from the airline. This comes days after strikes by airport security staff in the country that grounded hundreds of flights. On Monday, McDonald's fourth quarter sales missed market expectations. Sales rose by 3.4% in the quarter, far below the analysts' projections of around 5%. The decline has been attributed to a McDonald's boycott in the Middle East amid the Gaza war. In recent days, many Western firms, including McDonald's, have seen boycotts by anti-Israeli campaigners. Meanwhile, McDonald's is looking to further expand in the Chinese market. The fast food giant plans to open 1,000 new outlets in mainland China this year. McDonald's has an ambitious goal of opening 10,000 branches in the country by 2028. Pharma company Novo Holdings is buying contract drug maker Catalent. Over $11 billion deal aims to help the firm with the strong demand of obesity drug Wegovy. Catalent is the main supplier of the popular weight loss drug. Novo faces strong competition from Eli Lilly in the fast-growing obesity drug market. Tech firms have reportedly laid off over 32,000 workers in 2024. This follows numerous mass layoffs announcements from last year. Reports suggest that tech companies are still dealing with their overhirings during the pandemic. Companies hired more employees than necessary at the time, anticipating post-pandemic demand. However, high interest rates and an economic downturn have negatively impacted their growth. Meanwhile, Snap Inc., the parent company of Snapchat, has announced 540 job cuts. The firm is reducing its workforce by around 10%. This is the third such announcement by the company in the last couple of years. In 2022, Snapchat laid off 1,300 employees. The parent company of search engine Yandex has agreed to a $5 billion buyout in Russia. Known as Russian Google, Yandex is the country's largest tech firm. For over a year, its Dutch owner has been talking with Moscow authorities to exit the country. With this deal, Yandex will now fall wholly under Russian control. Most Western tech firms have pulled out of Russia after it invaded Ukraine in 2022. Huawei is reportedly reducing production of its premium Mate 60 phones. This is due to a cutback in the production of chips used in the phone. Huawei uses the same facility to produce chips for Mate 60 and its artificial intelligence chips. Manufacturing constraints at the facility are causing a lower yield rate. Phone production cuts aim to meet the high demand for AI chips. Let's move on to sports. In cricket, New Zealand's Rachin Ravindra smashed a double ton in the first test against South Africa. The 24-year-old struck a career best of 240 from 366 balls for the Black Caps before they were dismissed for a massive 511 runs in the first innings. With that knock, Rachin Ravindra became the fourth New Zealand batter to convert a maiden test ton into a double century. Indian cricket team coach Rahul Dravid hailed England's fearless approach in Test. This comes after the second Test match which India won in Visakhapatnam, a match in which England debutant Shoaib Bashir shined bright and set multiple records. Under the guidance of coach Brendan McCullum, who is nicknamed Baz, England are playing a newer brand of cricket built around aggressive batting. The baseball approach is facing its sternest challenge against India, who haven't lost a single Test series on home soil since 2012. Australia ramps up preparations for the upcoming T20 International World Cup. Mitchell Marsh has been named Australia's captain for the T20 International Series against New Zealand. The series will serve as a final preparation for the Aussies before the T20 World Cup that starts in June. Key players like Travis Head, Steve Smith and Mitchell Starc are in full-strength 15-man squad. Australia and West Indies play a three-match T20 International Series that starts February 9th. Sri Lanka beat Afghanistan by 10 wickets in a one-off test match in Colombo. Afghanistan were put to bat first by Sri Lanka and were all out for 198 in their innings. Sri Lanka put up a staggering 439 in reply. Meanwhile, Afghanistan's second innings ended at a disappointing 296. Sri Lanka easily chased down the target of 56 in 7.2 overs. In tennis, defending champion Daniil Medvedev has withdrawn from the Rotterdam Open. The world number 3 said it was due to fatigue and a foot injury. Medvedev spent a record 24 hours and 17 minutes playing throughout the entire Australian Open 2024 and suffered a heart-wrenching loss to Yannick Sinner in the final. Tennis's top aces Novak Djokovic, Rafael Nadal, Yannick Sinner are slated to participate in a grand exhibition event in Saudi Arabia in October. Medvedev and Holger Rune are other players who will be part of this exhibition, which is being touted as the 6 Kings Slams in Riyadh. This is Saudi Arabia's latest move in tennis after it recently named Nadal the ambassador for the Saudi Tennis Federation. In Formula One, Red Bull has launched an investigation against its boss Christian Horner. This comes after a complaint made by another employee against the team principal. Horner, who has held the position since 2005, faces allegations of inappropriate behavior. Red Bull said the independent investigation is being done by an external lawyer. In football, organizers of a friendly match in Hong Kong expressed regret and said they would withdraw a bid for a government grant worth $2 million. The football match between Messi's team Inter Miami and local Hong Kong team. However, Messi was benched during the match due to an injury. His no-show angered thousands of fans who had shelled out large sums to see him in action. The U.S. city of Las Vegas is bracing for the epic Super Bowl showdown. The Super Bowl 58 week in Nevada was officially declared open by the state governor yesterday. Reigning champions Kansas City Chiefs will take on San Francisco 49ers on February 11 in what will be America's biggest sporting fiesta. National Football League Commissioner Roger Goodell, during a Super Bowl conference, said Taylor Swift's connect with the league has been working wonders. Swift is currently dating Kansas City Chiefs star tight end Travis Kelce. Ever since their relationship was revealed, NFL has hit record female viewership. The NFL commissioner said that her presence has been positive. Moving on to entertainment now, and there's more good news for Taylor Swift fans. The pop star's upcoming album finally has a release date. Swift will release her next album on 19th of April. The singer announced her upcoming album at the 66th Grammy Awards, which is titled The Tortured Poets Department. Barbie actor America Ferrera is all set for a directorial debut. Her film I'm Not Your Perfect Mexican Daughter is now reportedly under development. The movie was previously backed by the streaming platform Netflix, but it is reportedly moved to Amazon now. The story follows a young teen who wants to become a famous writer. The upcoming Jurassic World movie will release on the 2nd of July 2025. The film will showcase new tales of the mighty dinosaurs, unlike the ones seen in the Jurassic Park franchise. According to reports, Deadpool 2 director David Leitch has been tapped to direct the film. Sports drama film The Iron Claw will release on the 9th of February in India. The film starring Zac Efron and Jeremy Allen White released last year in the US. According to reports, the film's delayed release in India can be attributed to its limited release strategy. A film is considered to be on a limited release list when it plays in less than 600 theatres. The makers of the TV series Cobra Kai announced the shoot for season 6 has started. A teaser of the cast celebrating the show's final season was released. Netflix announced a renewal of a show a year ago, but due to the Hollywood actors and writers strike, the production could not start. The release date of the series is yet to be announced. Director James Cameron may not direct the Avatar franchise films after Avatar 4. He said, and I quote, "I probably will be handing over the baton." However, Cameron also said in an interview that he has ideas for Avatar 6 and Avatar 7. The third installment of the record-breaking franchise is in post-production, while 50% of Avatar 4 is complete. Hollywood celebs like James Cameron, Keanu Reeves, Christopher Nolan and Jodie Foster were felicitated at the Saturn Awards this year. The Saturn Awards are presented by the Academy of Science Fiction, Fantasy and Horror Films annually. The event was held in Los Angeles. The hype around Netflix's Squid Game Season 2 is growing. Netflix stated that the new actors have been roped in for the upcoming season of the Korean-language thriller. New members include actors like Yim Soo-won, Kang Han-yeol, Lee Jin-wook and many more. The new story will revolve around Ji-han's mission of starting a chase with a motive. However, the release date of the anticipated series is yet to be announced. Actor and businesswoman Jessica Alba has launched her own production company. The company has been named Lady Spitfire. She aims to produce boundary-pushing, female-driven and culturally diverse stories. Under the banner of Lady Spitfire, Alba is shooting for projects like Honest Renovations, Trigger Warning and Flash Before the Bang. The race to secure a promotional space at the upcoming football championship Super Bowl has started. According to reports, promotions for the films such as Deadpool 2, Wicked and Bob Marley One Love may flash during the games. The advertising charges this year have reportedly shot up to $7 million for a 30-second space. Hollywood studios use the most-watched television event, the Super Bowl, to promote their upcoming films. The Super Bowl championship will start from the 11th of February.